Hey guys, Jay here. Today I'm showing you the second part of my Halloween costume. Not this, but this. So, I don't even know how well that's going to be. That's not going to be in focus. I don't know why I did that. This is a hammer, a sledgehammer that I bought at Spirit. And yeah, I just bloodied it up. So I painted the head and then bloodied it up. That's all I did. I will also note that this is $22-ish, somewhere around there, $24, somewhere around there at Spirit Halloween. But you may be able to find cheaper ones on Amazon. That's up to you, but I will link this one down in the description specifically. If you want to, since I also mentioned it in this video, I will link this spiked bat. I was going to mess with it, and it's got a bunch of paint chipping, and I talk about it at the end of the video, but there's no way this is going to work out because paint chips off of it way too easily, and we can't have that. So we're probably going to go with a different weapon. I'm going to see what I can do with it first, and then if not, we'll go with a different weapon, but it doesn't really matter. But anyway, yeah, let's get into the video of this. All right, so as you can see, I have my weapon here. So yeah, doing this in a separate video now. I was originally going to put this in the video with the clothing, but it turned out way too long of a video. But I do have to recolor pretty much the entire thing. I might just touch this up here. There's a little, but it's probably really hard to see, but there's a little mishap here. Okay, whatever. It's not really showing up too well, but that's the only real problem with this, other than the head. The head I just don't like at all. And I wanted to sand down the seam, but it's already cut down. Like it's not here, but then the rest of it is like indented. So there's not much I can do there. I'm not going to mess with that. It's just not going to work out. So I'm not going to do that. So what I'm going to do is paint it with jet black. Now I would normally use just a regular matte black, but this is supposed to be, it says matte paint on it. But when I dry brush over this, it's really annoying. But the good thing is I want the dry brushing to look really bad. That's the point. So it's fine. So I'm going to just paint over this entire thing with black. Now, normally you would sand something that you're going to paint, but this is foam. This can still chip off of here and not stay correctly, but you can't sand this down really to get a good surface on it. You kind of can, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to see what happens here, and just repaint it every time because it's easy enough to repaint. Especially if I'm able to fix this down here, then I'll be able to just repaint the head every time and just call it good. What's really cool is I should be able to just put something down, like, here, I'll use this since it's stable, and just set this up. I can paint the entire thing and just leave it on this, and it'll just not be touched. The head won't be touching my table. So that's easy. I don't even have to worry about doing part of it and then waiting for it to dry and then doing the rest of it. I can just do it all at once. So that works. That's what I'm going to do. So also a cool thing about matte paint is it dries faster for some reason, unless you glob it on like I did right there. So let me fix that. So thin coats like this will dry much faster, but you also can, I'm not going to, but you can use a hair dryer to make it go faster. I'm going to wait and then just, because I have time, it doesn't matter to me. This video isn't coming out for quite a while, weeks or so from when I'm filming, so I don't have to worry about it. But if you need to dry yours quickly, you can use a hair dryer. And you're gonna want bright lights like this if you can, so you can see all of the areas where you need to go back over it with paint. Like over here, there's entire silver spots still there, so I know I need to go back over that. So just like that. And so that covered that up. But the first layer is always going to do that. So you want to do like 2 or 3 layers at least, maybe 4 to 5, depending on how bad your your skills are. And then I'm going to go over this with a brown. If the brown that I have is not the same color, then I will go over everything. Then I'll go over this with black and then go back over it with brown. And I might actually, on top of this wrap, I might do another wrap over it with like a single layer of like a cloth or something, because I don't like the foam that this is. They made it look like cloth where it has like weave in it, you know, but it still doesn't look like cloth. It looks like painted foam. So if I can put real cloth on it and weather that, that might look really nice. Honestly, this looks really cool with the black head. I kind of like that, but it's going to be silver. So I'm going to keep it mostly black. I'm going to go dry brush over it with silver so that it's a dirty silver. I just hit the microphone. I am so sorry. I'm going to go over that with a dirty silver, like I'm going to make it look like a dirty iron or something. So it's got to be black brushed with silver. And so I'm going to do that. And then I'm going to put blood splatter on one of the heads. So maybe that head, I don't know, they're the same, it doesn't really matter. But I'm going to do on one of them and make it look like it's going outward. So like I struck something and it sprayed up that way. I'm going to do that. So that's what it's going to look like in the end. So I'm going to let this dry. Not that way. That way. That works. I had to figure out which way stayed better because it's not even, obviously, because of the fake wrap and all that and the textures. This looks like it's going to stay parallel or close enough anyway to the table. The other one smacked the table. So if it was on the other side, the side hit the table. So I'm going to leave it like that and then come back. I'll come back on the camera when I'm done doing the black on there and when I'm done getting that all finished up. And then I will show you the silver dry brushing. All right, so now we're moving on to the silver. So what I'm going to do here is dry brushing, basically. So I talked about this in the last video where I used the black on the mask that I have for this costume, where we used black and dabbed it off onto a paper towel so that there was only a little bit left, and then put it on the thing. And that's what we're doing here, except we're doing it a lot more of the wiping off. So in the mask, what I did was I left a lot left still so that I could dig it into the burlap of the mask. For this one, now that this is all dry, we're just lightly hitting it with silver. So I'm going to now my silver is really bad. It's extremely watery. So I don't know why, but what we're gonna do is hit the corners basically. And I might want a smaller brush for some of this. So what I'm using are these brushes that have much stiffer bristles on them. And that makes, I don't know what it does, but it makes it easier to I don't know, it looks better, I guess. It doesn't look all uniform, so it has a nicer look to it. So it's probably really, oh, you might be able to see that pretty good, actually. So basically all these corners now, we don't want to do everything, but on this front, I'm going to make this one, since I did it more on that one, I'm going to make that one the striking surface. That's the side that I hit with most or something. I don't know. So this side's going to have much more scratches than the other side. So that way, it just looks more uneven, which looks a little better. You know what? I might just say screw that and make both sides kind of the same. I realized that when you're actually doing stuff with like a hammer, you're not thinking about which side you're hitting on. So you might just use both sides without realizing it. That was stupid of me. I don't know why I even... Yeah, whatever. Anyway, hopefully you get the point of... We're just putting some scratches on this, basically. Oh, there you go. You can see that. Yeah. And then we're going to do that along the face too, but it's going to be a lot harder. I might use a bigger brush because I have bigger hard bristle brushes. That might be a good idea. But you can do this. So the face or the sides look like it's been like scratched against or something. Ooh, I like that actually. Let's do that on this side too. Yeah, that could work. So down here isn't going to get scratched nearly as much. So we do only maybe a couple. But up here is where it's going to get like set down when it leans up against something. So that's going to get a lot more damage as well. But the striking surfaces are going to get way more damage. So I'm liking how this is turning out. Looking pretty good. So I'm going to do that all the way around. And now I have kind of an idea of something I wanted to do, but I don't know how well it'll work. Yeah, that's actually working really nice. So I am going in a circular motion with the silver, but after I've used a whole bunch of it already, so there's even less on here than normal. So the edges still pop out, but the head is brighter now. So it's not black anymore. Now it's more of a dull silver gray, more like an iron, which is what I wanted. So it looks like an irony color, but those scratches can still be seen because that was the bright silver when I first dipped it in. And I can actually still go over some of these areas again with the silver and still get the silver in there. So it looks like that dirty silver color, but has that brighter silver chipping color where it's been struck a whole bunch. So that's what I wanted. I'm only gonna I'll lightly do it on the little angled faces too, just to give it a little bit of a pop, but it won't be as much as on the sides here. And then the top is going to have a lot of it because that's where it gets set down. And then also the faces. So you can see what I'm doing. Also, dry brushing dries really fast. Like when you're actually when you're painting with it, like it literally dries really fast. So you don't have to worry about getting wet paint on you all the time. Oh, I like how this face turned out. Over here, I love that. That looks really good. But I have to match that on the side here. So I'm going to color that in a little more silver than normal. And then maybe this face will be the one I strike most with. So this is the one, like I'm going to only put blood on one of them, like I just killed one person. So I used the same side for this one. Like I cleaned it off and then used it again or something. So this side will be the one I put the blood on. Because if I put blood on all of it, it's not going to look right. It's going to look a little odd. And I don't want to do that. Do whatever you want, honestly. This is just what I want to do for this one. Yeah, go back and forth on this one. That might look kind of cool. You know what? Use a bigger brush. No, you know what? Use an even bigger brush. Why would I not do that? Yeah, like that. So that should be good for that. Again, it's going to be really hard to see. I literally, oh, there we go. I have it pointed towards the light. So, yeah, you can really see the difference that made. And that looks a lot better than the paint job they did on it. I mean, their paint job wasn't horrible, but it wasn't good. And the wood looks really nice. There's that there, and that bugs me. But yeah, I like how that looks. So now I get to put blood on it. So for the blood, I am using the exact same paint that I used for the blood on the shirt and stuff. So yeah, it's just a red acrylic paint. It's called Real Red. By the way, the silver is just this is silver sterling from Folk Art, and it's the Folk Art metallic. The black that I used was a jet black from Apple Barrel, and the red is also Apple Barrel, and this one's gloss, which is good because you want blood to be a little glossy. And it's Real Red. So the thing is when you use glossy paint, you cannot paint on top of it. It is a pain in the butt. But yeah, I don't think I really need to. But gonna dab this on like this, right? Because that's where I hit something. And then, and this is already dry, it's only been a couple of minutes. And then just streak it on like that. That's really all you need to do. And if I really don't like the way something's looking, I can just go back over this with black and silver. And then you can also, it won't stand up. So I'm going to put paint on either side of it like that to help it stand up. And then actually I'm going to, okay, I had towels, but I guess I don't. That stands up, that'll work. So I will put this against that. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll work for now. And then that didn't work. I'm kind of scared to do this. It's not working. Yeah, it kind of is. There we go. So that is giving me that blood streak. That's what I want. I gotta get more up here. But you gotta get this thing like really wet with paint in order to do that. So it's got all that on it now. So just want to do that all the way around it. And then some of these I'm going to blend in a little bit. I might even use my finger to blend some of this. Oh, that, yeah. Okay, I like that. All right, and then I'm just gonna keep doing that. There we go. Yeah, I like that. And so now we have to let that dry and then do the other side. But because I'm on an angle here, I don't have to worry about that. So it'll just, it'll hang. So I don't have to, okay, this is gonna be a lot harder, but it'll hang like this so it can dry while I'm doing the other side. I might have to stand for this. I'm not sure. Yeah, standing's probably the best idea for this one, this part right now. It keeps going in the same spot. Oops. Oh, come on. There we go. I can't get some of these spots. I don't think I'm getting my camera with this. I hope I'm not. Oops, I hit the thing. Oh well. And then I did mention in the other video that there is another thing you can do, but you have to have a toothbrush for it to make it work perfectly. But I'm going to try with a regular brush. So here's another stiff bristled brush. One thing that people can do is you can go like that and it'll flick it off into smaller pieces. So I'm going to try that real quick and see what happens. I'm going to turn this another direction. I guess I'm just going to hold it up. See what happens. That's not enough. Okay. Whatever. Okay, it kind of works with this one. Oh yeah, there we go. That's looking better. So you can barely see, but there's some smaller, uh, smaller spackles on there, or whatever, specks on there. So this way will be really easy to see. Oh, I need to, that is a huge glob that needs to just be like taken off of there, basically. Way too big of a glob. Okay, there's not a whole lot I can do about that. Screw it, it'll be fine. So let's just continue with the little sprays. This glob's really big too, actually, now that I see that. That can be one of the... Yeah. Those will get lighter in color as they dry. Red does not like to paint over black. So I might even actually be able to just go back over that. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to do that. Wipe all of that off, actually. And once that's dry, I'm going to go back over that with black and then do everything over again. But I liked how this side turned out, so I'm going to try to emulate what I did there on this side. It's just going to be a little longer of a process right now. So I will wait for that to dry and then do that. And it's almost dry, actually. So yeah, I'll do that. But just know that you're basically getting this out of it. So just know that. Figured I should come in here and just show the end result real fast. It's kind of off screen on purpose. But reveal time. Yeah, I really like how this turned out. It's not dry yet. So the other side, which was this side, I believe, I did have to redo. So I don't remember which side it was actually now. No, it was this side, I think. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. Either way, like I said, I had to redo it. So it doesn't look like I redid it at all. It looks like just how it's supposed to. So that's good. This is not perfect, but it's as good as it's going to get, basically. So you may notice I also got some up here. And some of that may get covered if I decide to do a different wrap on here. But just know that if I do a different wrap, what I'm going to do is hot glue it down here at the bottom, wrap it without gluing it, maybe hot glue it in a couple spots. And then once I get to the top, wherever I want to stop, I'll just hot glue it again. And that's it. I might even, like, I have some tacks. I might put a tack in there and like epoxy it in or something so it can't come out and call that good or something. But I might not. That would be just like a way where it's like, oh, that's how it's held together. That's how the wrap is held together. Because this doesn't have any way of showing how it's supposed to be held on there. So whatever. But yeah, so if I do that, I do that. If I don't, I don't. If I don't do that, then I will go in and like weather this a little bit. All I'm going to do is put some black in there that's really watered down and then wipe off the high spots with a napkin, and that's it. And then I might just add a little bit more blood to it depending on, because, you know, if you're holding it, you're not going to get blood as much on there as you would on the rest of it. So it's whatever. But you can see, you might not be able to see actually. I tried to make it look like, okay, focus, come on, whatever. I tried to make it look like the blood was like in the cracks of the wood. Oh, there you go. So like it trailed down a little bit in the, like, because you would get a lot of blood from here spraying this way and it would get into these cracks a lot, these forward cracks, because that's the front. So it would get into these ones more. So I made it look like it's going down those, and then as it goes down this way, as it sprays this way, it'll go into these ones, and I made it go down there a little more. I did the same thing on the other side, which there was only one big crack on the back, so I just called it good and put some in there. And I used the same method here, where I took the paintbrush and hit it on another paintbrush, which is what I was doing for the whole thing, basically. And then I would touch it with some of the brush, like I would actually physically put some on there. And I was using the brush that I was using earlier. This is a filbert brush. It's got a rounded tip on it, so I can get smaller areas rather than this larger brush that you would get like a large area. I wanted just a little bit smaller areas, but not using another brush. So I used that and did that, and then used the napkin and streaked it a little bit. So that caused that. But I also wanted it to have a little bit more big splotches rather than just those little little stringy things. So that's why I did that. And I think it turned out really good. This is actually almost all dry down here because it's easy to, it's one layer of paint. It dries really fast, but a lot of this is like thicker. And like here where I made it try to look coagulated a little bit. I might put some brown in there to make it look more coagulated. But I did that so that it looks thicker. Like that's where like a lot of the splotching happened, like a happened. So I'm hoping that that looks correct. But yeah, that's going to be it. And I keep putting my hand in paint and I got to go wash my hands again. I literally just finished washing my hands and came up here to do this. And now I have to wash them again. But just know that for Hardy's bat, I'm going to do the exact same thing. I'm going to actually probably sand the paint off of this one and then repaint it because I want to also get these bumps out of here because this is, I think I mentioned it already. It looks like they poured actual fake blood on here because it's like thicker here, which that's coagulation. That's what I wanted on the tip of the hammer where it's supposed to be where you struck something. I wanted something thick like that. But this paint job is really bad. It looks horrible. The silver's fine, but that blood, if this was just silver, I would have kept it at it as is and not painted it. But it is paint chipping a lot, so I do have to fix that. That's why I want to sand it, get a lot of that paint off of there, repaint it, and then put more blood on it. And I want to do what I did here, where I do like one spot has a lot of blood on it, like that's where it's been struck. So I'm going to do that. But you don't need to see that because it's the same exact thing. I also need to really repaint this because this one is like really bad. So there's nothing I can do about it. They were all pretty bad at the store. So these ones were the best ones that we found at the store, the least damaged ones. They were least played with or something. So it's whatever. Anyway, yeah, that is how to do the weapons. And that's going to be the end of the video, I guess. All right, and that is how I altered this hammer to be a different paint job on the head and bloody. During the video, I did mention things like possibly doing another wrap on there. I still might do that, but I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do after what's already done. If not, I may just put more blood going along this because that's why I didn't do it here in the video, because I didn't want to do that if I was going to wrap it, because I wanted it to be, and you'll notice that it also doesn't go all the way down to the wrap. It stops a little bit away from it. So that way, if I put a wrap on it, I can stop it there and then just continue the blood. So if you want to do that, do that. All I was going to do is take a cloth of some kind. I'm not even sure what I was thinking of. And then I was going to hot glue it down and then wrap it around and then hot glue it down again. But you could also use like ace bandage, where it's that stretchy bandage itself adheres to itself. You could use that and go around it. So I may do that. That's what this looks like it's supposed to represent, but I'm not sure. Anyway, you can do whatever you want. So it's whatever. But yeah, that's going to be the end of this video. So if you like it, go ahead and hit that thumbs up, subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys later.